kind words. All right. Next up is Anastasia Search. Good evening. Welcome.
Hi. Good. I had it. There we go. Thank you for the introduction. I'd like to wish you all happy holidays, and I'd also like to congratulate our newest council member, Carrie Lynn Barrett, who is now my district representative. I'm looking forward to seeing her impact on our city. As an almost 30-year resident, I'm appalled at the number of times I've had to use that word to describe how I feel about the decisions this incumbent council, along with disgraced former council member Gamble, of course, have made just in the last year. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start keeping track. That being said, I'm appalled at your decision not to pay the mandated $35,000 bill from CVRA attorney Michelle Jackson, and instead have opted to shell out potentially hundreds, if not millions of dollars, and pay some highfalutin lawyers from Sacramento who, for those who don't know, will end up charging us thousands or millions of dollars, thousands of dollars per hour to fight that five-figure sum. As I've said before from this very podium, for an incumbent city council who boasts of their fiscal conservatism, it doesn't appear that you have the city or its residents' interests at heart. In the spirit of transparency, the likes of which I personally have never seen from the incumbent group, I respectfully request and highly urge you to answer the questions so many of us have regarding your retainer agreement, the amount you're willing to shell out in attorney fees to these non-local attorneys, and how you justify your attempts to fight this battle, which has never been won by any California city to date. Are you willing to throw away $60 million like the city of Santa Monica? Or maybe only $200,000 like the city of Whittier? What amount will it take before you bankrupt the city I live in after you ultimately are forced to pay Attorney Jackson's fees? I urge you to think long and hard about the fiscal impact to the residents who put you in those very comfy chairs up there. Pull up your big boy or big girl pants and don't use retribution as an excuse to fight an old battle that isn't pertinent to me or anyone else who pays your salaries. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate those comments, and just like to provide you with a little background for your information and try and answer some of the questions that you have. First of all, the city of Rancho Santa Margarita has always been, and we still continue to be, ready, willing, and able to pay the bill that was submitted by the attorney. But despite numerous written requests by the city to that attorney for basic information to corroborate the amounts that she has claimed in that bill, she has been unable or unwilling to provide any of that background to us. And the bill submitted by that attorney is like any other bill that this city has to pay. We have a fiduciary duty on behalf of the taxpayers of this city to make sure that it's a legitimate bill. And we've asked for very basic information, and as I mentioned, she has been unable or unwilling to pay or to provide that information, and that is why we have been unable to pay that invoice. Litigation has been commenced, as you pointed out. It is not to challenge the Voter Rights Act, and we've switched to districts, and the attorney submitted a bill for the legal services that she claims she rendered in that process. It's not a mandated $30,000 payment. There's a statutory amount that her bill cannot exceed. She submitted a bill, and there were a lot of very significant billing irregularities and concerns we had. We asked her in writing, if you're seeking reimbursement for an $18,000 expense, we'd like to see the canceled check to make sure it actually happened. We would do that in any instance. So I'd be happy to meet with you at any time and explain it. As I mentioned, we have letters that have been written by our attorney requesting that of the attorney. And as I mentioned, she has been unable or unwilling to provide any of the basic information that we needed. So that is why we have not been able to pay and why there's litigation right now to resolve that. But I appreciate your comments and thank you for being here.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Mr. City Attorney.
Just one point of clarification for the City Council and for the benefit of our new council member. The speaker is clearly misinformed. Representations that Rancho Santa Margarita are going to incur millions of dollars fighting an age-old battle that can't be won, that's in reference to all the California cities that have refused to switch to districts. Santa Monica refused to switch to districts. Cypress refused to switch to districts. These are cities that paid $800,000, $900,000, over $1 million, in some cases $2 million, to fight what the speaker is referring to as the age-old battle that cannot be won. Rancho Santa Margarita switched to districts. That is not what this dispute is about, to be clear. It's more misinformation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.